Hi there, it's Jen and it's Friday, October 31st. Welcome to my live. I go live here every Friday at this time, 3 p.m. Eastern, to show a Stampin' Up! Project from start to finish. So I've got a really pretty card today to show you. Again, a Christmas theme, and again, using the same stamp set that I used last week. Let me just show you what I made last week. So I made these really pretty cards. I've got little Wink of Stella in the background. So this one was the one I made. It's a little bit darker than my original sample, which is here. Hopefully you can see some of the sparkle and the polka dots there in the background. And it's made with cloud cover, so that's that really pretty blue-gray color. And it was using this stamp set here, Delicate Pines. So I'm going to use it again this week, and I used it last week too. I'll show you that one at the end that I made last week. So what I'm going to do is do a draw for that. So I do a draw from the card that I made the week before. And all you have to do is comment, like, and share. And I'll say hello to Nicole and to Judy. And let me just share my screen and we'll pull up the draw. Here we go. Happy Halloween while I'm thinking of it. I do not have a costume on. We got rid of all of our costumes when our kids started to get bigger, and we should have saved some adult ones. Okay, so anyone who liked, comment, or share is in the draw, and as long as you are Canadian and not a demonstrator, you can win. Just grabbing a pen, and we already have a winner, and it is Lucille. So Lucy LaBelle, sorry. I don't know why I read that wrong. I was combining your last names. So as long as you're Canadian and not a demonstrator, Lucy, I'll send that card to you. Otherwise, we'll do a redraw. And Lucy said she liked the darker one, so that's good. Okay, so let me just stop that share and jump back here. Hello to Donna as well. How are you? And let me just jump to what I'm doing here. Let me know if you are dressing up for Halloween. Maybe you're at work and dressed up, or maybe you're going to a party or something. Let me know if that's something you do. We definitely have treats out ready for the kids. So that's kind of fun. Okay, so I've got here papers that are dropping on the floor as per usual. Okay, so I've got here a piece of basic white, and I'm going to work with the Delicate Pines today. I'm not going to use these wonderful dies that I used last time and the time before, which I'll show you again, those cards at the end, because these dies are amazing. I'm just going to use the stamps because they're also amazing. There's all of these different versions of the stamps, and I'm going to do them in, take a guess what colors I'm going to do. Can you guess? Might be just one of my favorite colors ever. Just pulling all my stamps out here. Know what color I'm using, color scheme I'm using for snowflakes, which of course makes total sense, right? Anyone can guess. So I'm going to start with Bubble Bath, and I'm going to take the biggest snowflake. Now when they're big like this, I like to ink them upside down, because then the ink pad is smaller than the stamp and I can ink all over. So I'm just going to stamp this right in the middle here. And by in the middle, I mean in the middle of the corner. Purple, Nicole says, yes, it's purple colors, purple and pinks that I'm using, my favorite. So that's the Bubble Bath. Now I'm going to grab the Fresh Freesia. And what I like about these stamps, so this one's smaller than the ink pad, so I just tap it here, is that they line up. So there's, let me just pull that right up. See that little centerpiece right there? I'm going to line up this one in the center. And if I want, I can turn the, I was going to say leaves. They're not leaves. They're branches. I'm going to just turn them a little bit so that they're going to be offset. So let me show you what I mean by that. I'm trying to focus there so you can see that I've made them kind of go in between. So how pretty is that already? And we're not done. So I'm going to grab Highland Heather. How's everybody? How are you, Donna? So again, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to make this a little bit offset, just using the middle as my guide. Again, how pretty is that? So gorgeous. And then I'm going to take the little tiny baby one with Gorgeous Grape, and I'm going to ink that up. And I'm going to try and offset that one too. There we go. So there's not a whole lot of difference between the Gorgeous Grape and the Highland Heather, but there is a little bit. So how gorgeous is that? Okay, so I need to look at my sample here. Okay, so I'm going to get out my scrub, which I don't know where it is, so I'm grabbing a wipey instead. And I'm going to take my background, which is fresh freesia, which I didn't cut. So we'll be cutting that together. So I'm just going to wipe this one off. And I'm going to close up the ink pads. They just flip like that, close up. Flip like that, close up. And I'm going to keep that one out. I didn't cut that, so let's grab this. It's funny, I looked at what I'd cut and I thought, I've got everything there, but no, missing the background. So I'll pull out my paper trimmer. Everything's nice and handy. And because it's going on a card front, it needs to be 5 1/4. So I'm just lining it up here, 5 1/4 by 4. So out of one piece of cardstock, I can get 4 card fronts. There we go. So this is the base of my card. This is half a sheet of basic white. So I'm going to fold that in half. I like to use a bone folder to just help create that score line. Nice smooth fold. You can use the paper trimmer. It has a scoring bit, but then you can use a bone folder to burnish it. Okay, so now I've got some ink on here. That's fine because we're going to cover it up. So that forms a nice border. Happy Friday to you too, Paulette. And hello, Robin and Mark. Happy Halloween. Okay, so I'm going to grab a Versamark now. And I realize I need that little baby stamp too. Here we go. Okay, so I'm going to start with the Versamark and I'm going to just start randomly stamping this background. Now with the Versamark, what happens is it turns out one shade darker than the paper and it kind of takes a few minutes to appear. I'm going to hold this up and see if you can start to see that. See that? It's really subtle, which is just makes it really pretty. Almost makes it look like designer series paper. And what I'm doing is I'm trying to go in kind of a triangle pattern. Again, it's not going to be easy to see. A little bit there. Okay, so I'm going to just give this a quick clean. So that's just giving us a little bit of background. And now I'm going to grab the fresh freesia and I'm going to, again, go in here. And so here, this triangle pattern is going to make more sense now. So like that. So when you're doing random things, try and go in a bit of a triangle. So there's 2. So I'm going to do another one. So there's, let's see, these 2. So there would be the other one. These 2, another one. These 2, another one. So that way your pattern can be kind of random. These 2, not looking so, you know, in a line or anything like that. So that looks pretty good. Pretty purple snowflake. Aren't they pretty? And then I add this little guy in here. And if you don't have a Versamark, one of the things you can do is simply just stamp off. So stamp it again without re-inking. That's called stamping off. And you just basically get that light version. So see, there's the 2 versions there. By the way, there's my little ghost. Oh, for Halloween. So I'm just going to add those all over here. I would tell you to do odd numbers, but because I'm doing so many, it probably does not matter. I'm really trying to make this look like my own piece of designer series paper by just filling in as much of that space as I can. There we go. What you think? Looks pretty good, eh? I think I want to add another one down here. I might actually turn this around. This will be my bottom because I like it better. Okay, so that's that. Now what I did was I used these dies. These are called Stylish Shapes. They're one of my favorite die sets because they have all these shapes and they're all stitched, which is kind of nice. So I have already cut out a Highland Heather one. And I've cut a bubble bath, not from the stitched shapes. Let me just show you those so you can see those. Whoops, that's backwards. See the stitching all around? Really nice. And then I'm going to cut out my snowflake and I want to go to the next size down, which is this one. So if you have this, it's the second smallest, if you will. So I'm going to grab my machine, which I left over on the stand. So just give me 1 second to grab it. I'll let you look at the dies. Here we go. Everything's nice and close in my office. I just have to wheel my chair around, which you probably heard. And I'm going to make the stand go up a little bit just so we can, oops, up and down. So you can see a little bit better. I'm going to turn it this way. So I've got just my standard cutting sandwich here. So this is plate 1 on the bottom. This is the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. I'm Stampin' Up. So plate 1, plate 2, which it comes with, plate 3, which it comes with, And then I've got this piece, and I'm going to lay this down. So I have this tape here. It's removable magic tape. I get it on Amazon. You can find a link to it in my online store. Just go to Stamp with Jen. Here, let me just put that on here. And then go to products, and then go to Jen Recommends. Okay, so what I like about this is I can put it right over top of the paper, and it isn't going to hurt it. So I'm going to center this. I'm going to try and get the purple part all centered in there. And then I'm just going to use the tape so it doesn't move on me. Some people are very good at putting the plate down and making it hold, but after I've done all that work, I don't want to take a chance that it's going to move on me. Okay, so when it goes through, and then we'll pull this out with the machine. Okay, and I'm just going to put that here. I'm going to put the stand down. Whee, going for the ride here. And I'm going to put the die back so I don't forget where it goes. Sometimes I just leave the tape on there like that so that I can use it again. So how cute is that little snowflake element that we did? So you can only see there's a little bit left. If you wanted to, you could do another die cut of that. That would be pretty as well. Okay, so let's put this together. So I've got my card front with some marks on it, but we're going to cover those up. I'm going to take my seal with our pretty fresh freezer hand designed piece of cardstock. If your seal gets stuck, just move it a little bit like this. I think it's going to come into an end. Let's start this one instead. Here we go. And you could use whatever adhesive you like. I like seal. Okay, so how pretty is that? And then we're going to lay the bubble bath on here like this. Oh, I just did something I don't normally do, and that is I don't normally attach things until I've stamped them. So I need the greeting. So I'm going to do this one, Warmest Winter Wishes. So this could be a Christmas card, or it could be just a, I'm sorry, I'm getting a delivery, which means the dog is going to go crazy barking. And I forgot to put my phone on Do Not Disturb. So hopefully the chime from the doorbell isn't too loud. I've got a dog that is crazy when I get the delivery. Just trying to find a block here. I'm not even sure if you can hear that. I bet you can. There we go. And he'll continue to bark till I do something about it. So I'm sorry about that. Should have put his bark collar on. Okay, so I'm grabbing Gorgeous Grape, and so I'm just going to position this here. So this, like I said, could be a Christmas card, or it could just be, a greeting that you send out in the winter. Okay, I'm grabbing some dimensionals. I'm going to pop that up. I'm just going to look at your comments there. Let's see here. Hello to Susan and hello to Beth. And Nicole says, go, Blue Jays, go. Yes, have you seen the little meme saying all trick-or-treaters must be done by 8 p.m. tonight because everyone else will be watching the game by then. Okay, so I'm going to put this on here like that. And then I'm going to also grab this and put some dimensionals on here. Now you can barely see the stitching on here, but you can a little bit. I'll show you when I hold it up and you can tell me if you can see it. But it's just a nice little detail to this. How cute is this? So let me just hold that up so you can see the stitching. Hopefully a little bit you can see in the corner. And so the bubble bath doesn't have one. So all the colors are represented here either by the paper or the stamping of this ink. So they're all there. We're going to add one more thing. Here it is. It's the same gems I used last week. I love these gems, faceted snowflakes. So obviously they come with a lot more. This is just my leftovers here. And I'm going to grab my Take a Pick tool, and I'm going to grab, I think I want to take a big one this time, and stick that right in the center. It's like a rhinestone, but it's got like a snowflake shape, which is very pretty. So look how gorgeous that is. So pretty. And you know what? Let's grab another one here. I'm going to make it like my sample. And let's see, I think I'm going to do it up here and a smaller one. It's funny, I didn't think I was going to use the clear ones as much as I was going to use the red and green ones, but I've been using the clear ones more. This one doesn't have any sticky on it. So I can see it's got left behind there. Just a little wee operation we're performing here. Just stick the glue down and then stick the gem to it. So there's no loss of a gem there. So there we go. Very pretty, sweet purple card. Let me show you the original here. So here's the one I did already. Now, I will show you a difference, but it's hard to see it in the camera. Well, first of all, the gems are down here this time. It also looks like I put way more snowflakes on this one than I did on that one. That was just random. Also looks like I've got this one straight up and down, which I never even thought of when I was die cutting it, but that's okay. Still looks good. And this one, you can see that I've put Wink of Stella on all of those snowflakes here and here. I can show you how to do that in case you've never done that before, but I'm just going to tilt this slightly and see if the camera and the lights pick that up. It doesn't always pick it up, but tell me, can you see the glitter? Or can you just imagine? The whole thing looks glittery. All I did was I just went like this. It's actually kind of fun and cathartic. I'm just going to start the Wink of Stella here on the side so that we can make sure we've got lots of glitter coming out. Oh, I got one that's almost empty. Let's grab another one. This one's got lots. So all I did was I just dotted it. So I just went dot, 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 dot on each of the little branches here. I'll hold that one up and maybe it'll show up. Not sure, but I did that on every single branch on that one. So I'll finish this one off after the live. So when you get this card next week, if you're the lucky recipient, then yours will be all glittered up too. And all you have to do is comment, like, and share, and it'll be there. Nicole said, such a pretty color card. Love the colors. Yeah, all the pinks and purples, right? Thank you. Lovely card, says Judy. Thanks so much. Appreciate that. Robin says pretty purple snowflake. So yeah, again, the colors are Fresh Freesia. I did that one because it's kind of a purple pink. And then Bubble Bath, Highland Heather, and Gorgeous Grape. And those are all the colors that I stamped the snowflake. I just love how it's so dimensional looking. And you can see that. And none of that's with dyes. So compared to last week, where I did the same snowflakes, but I die cut them all. So you can see the difference here. Plus there's some additional die cuts in there. And then the week before we did this one. So with using the same pieces, this is like another branch that's in there, and then some of the die cuts. And then this is some of the paper that match. So there's what that one looks like there. So there you go, my purple snowflake card. I always got to do one of those every year. I love it. Mark says she loves the colors on this card. Thank you. And it's pretty simple. Like you could definitely do a bunch of these all at once, or you could use some designer series paper. There's some lovely, I don't know if you've seen it, paper with like a snowflake background. You could actually just rub some ink over top of that. That would be a really fast way to do that. So anyways, let me take that banner off there. And I will wish you a very happy Halloween. And let me know if you're dressing up or going out or handing out candy or just staying home and watch the Jays game. Let me know what you're doing. And I will see you all again next week. Thank you so much for joining me today. Take care. Bye-bye. Don't forget to comment, like, and share to get into my draw. Take care. Bye-bye now.